Welcome to Ratals Tutorials Part 2 and setting up your site into a blog. In the last video, we finished off with just putting our first blog post up. And so now if we click into this blog post, we'll get to see a little bit of what it looks like. So we get our title, my first post about shoes, and now we can see our author here and when this post was actually put up. And then we can see the content that we just posted or pasted down so that we just filled it in as a post. And now we have a comment area down here. And the reason why we have comments is because if you remember, we go back over here, we said allow comments yes. So if you ever want to turn the comments off on a post, you can come in here and just set it to no, and it won't allow any more comments to be left on this post. So with that being said, we're going to leave a comment though, and I'm just going to go ahead and just say first comment. And we'll go ahead and use our support at ratalsdemo.com. This is what we set up when we created the account as our email address. And then we're just going to go ahead and make a comment. This is the first comment on this post, okay? So this is just some filler information so that we can see what it looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit post comment. Now we have 3 different places we can see when somebody leaves a comment. And that's pending for you to say approve it or not. And so the first place is here on our dashboard of our main login area. We can see that, hey, there's a comment to be approved or not. And and it'll also show us the count of how many there are, so we can see that there's 1. And so if we click that, it'll take us over to where our interactions are at. So it takes us down here to interactions, all comments. So if we want to, we can just come directly to this interactions for all post comments, and it'll show us, hey, here's a comment, and you can see that it hasn't been approved because it still says disabled. The next place we can go and manage it is on the post itself. Now, if you have hundreds of posts over time, you're probably not going to want to go through every post to see what has a comment and what doesn't. And that's where it's helpful for it to be on the dashboard and inside this interactions right here. And so if we go back to our content post, all post, edit, we can then see our comment here, and we can just hit approve or delete. Now you'll notice in here though, that's all you can do is approve or delete. Now, if you ever noticed that, hey, there was a comment and something was misspelled and you wanted to correct it or anything like that, that's where you go down to the interactions where you can actually change anything that's in this comment if you wanted to. And so if we go down to our interactions, and we go into this and we hit edit, you can see where we can actually change. So if this was misspelled and you wanted to correct it before you approved it, you could do that here. But you can also go here on the front end and just hit approve or disable, and it's going to enable it. It's going to approve it. And so now when we go over here and we hit refresh, we can see there's our first comment. We also have replies. So if we want to go into here and we want to reply to this particular comment, I'm just going to say this is a reply so you can see what it looks like. This is a reply. And we'll just do it from the same email address, support at ratalsdemo.com. And then this is a reply, right? Something like that. So now if we submit that, it says it's pending, waiting for you to approve it. And now if we refresh this, there's our reply to it. So we'll just enable that one or approve it. And now you can see how it indents it because this is a response to this first one. And for the last one, we'll say this is our last comment, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and copy this for ease and just put it down here. And we'll do support at ratalsdemo.com. Now this is going to create a new comment. So it's not going to keep indenting so if you reply to this guy, it's going to stay in this line and so forth. So this just controls the indenting of who's commenting to who. But now if we hit refresh, we have another new comment. So we'll enable that. And you can see how it put it up here on top, the last comment, because this is the last comment. And you can see this is a kind of a group of people who are talking about whatever this person said here. So it allows us to control our comments and groups them together. And so this is what a blog post looks like. Now, what if we wanted to put an image inside this blog post to, dazzle it up a little bit, make it look better? So what we can do is we have an embed system within the Ratals software. So we can go into design, and we go then to our media here. And this is where you would upload media, but we're going to just use one that we already have. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, show me all of our original images, because when we upload media, we give you the option to create a whole bunch of variant sizes from the size that you have, and it makes it smaller, smaller, and smaller, so that it goes from a desktop down to a phone. It doesn't have to render the full size image. And we also build all the compression images of AVIS and AVIF and WebP images default out of the box. You can uncheck those if you don't want it to create them when you drop your image here, or your images when you upload them. But what we're going to do is we're going to put an image inside this post. So I'm going to say, only show me the original images. Don't show me all the variations and the compression files, all that stuff that you created. Just show me my original images. And so I'm just going to hit search. And well, let's go back. You can see we had 39. And when I hit original images and I hit search, you can see now we only have 13, because now these are just the original JPEG, PNG, or GIFs, or those core image files that we have set up. And remember, we used our 1050 by 500. So I'm going to go into this image here. And here we have some embed code. And this is where we can embed it inside of our top content or bottom. And when we're embedding it inside actual code, such as PHP, like a PHP page, we would use this down here, which runs the embed of the images differently. But because we're putting it inside of our top content area or bottom content where we're going to put it, it also works in the table of contents. But we're going to grab this one right here, and we're going to say lazy load no. So this would be our lazy load no, which we'll go into lazy loading later if you don't know what it is. But we're going to grab that. We're going to now go back. I copied that. So we're going to now go back over to our content post, and we're going to go into this post. And the very first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to wrap this in a paragraph. Again, when we have our editor in here, you won't have to type this out like this. But I'm going to put this image here, okay? And I'm also going to drop it further down on the page so we can see what it looks like. So I'll come down a few paragraphs. We'll put it right here. And we'll put one in right there. And we'll come down further down to the page. And we'll put one, sure, right here looks good. Okay, now because this one's further down the page, we're going to say lazy load. Essentially what this does, I'll just quickly explain it. When you have to scroll a ways to get to the image, this lazy loading, yes, says don't load this image right when the page loads, because it's further down the page, which makes the browser not have to render as much stuff back to the browser until it's actually needed, which speeds up your page loads. It helps stuff load faster for people who are coming to your blog. And so we put 3 images in there, though. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And now we have a large image up top. We scroll down. We got another image. We scroll down. And this is our lazy loading image. We got another image that's closer to the end of the post. So you can see where you're starting to beautify the post a little bit with some images and graphics to make it look good. Now, the last thing I'm going to go over is this over here if we want to switch out about me or my company. So this is a global include that's here. And the reason why it's global is because if we go over to like our about us, we still have it displaying here. So it loads on every single page, not just an individual page. And so to get to that, the content that's in here to edit this, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our settings and site settings, and you're going to see your global custom fields right here. And here's where you can change that image, switch out that content, and also change it from about me or my company to whatever you want for a headline there. And it'll make it to where you instantly have a headline. So now if we look at this, or the headline that you want. So now if we look at this, we have our homepage, and as we continue to add posts, it'll put it in here and keep going down till we have 10, where I showed you earlier, you can adjust however many you want to show. If you click on view more posts, that's going to take us to our blog section, which is here. And this is kind of like our archives. And so we can see everything that we've posted about inside blog, because it's going to put everything we've posted about in here. And if we want to see only the stuff that's in shoes, we can click down here where now we're inside the shoes. So earlier I said I would show you what the breadcrumbs are. Now, if you had a really long post name, you probably wouldn't want those right here for the long post name. And so if I go back to our post, let's go to content, post, and we only have our one post in here right now. But if we wanted to, let's say we had a really long post name and we didn't want that long post name, we wanted this to be shorter right here, we can do that by going to this breadcrumbs and just say, this is short, as an example, okay? Just so you can see what it does. And I'm going to hit save, and now you can see it changes it to something different. Now, you want to kind of try to keep these somewhat to what this is, right? So that it represents it. But you can see you can modify these at any point. And so if you put another page after this post, which you can do, let's say for whatever reason you wanted to create another post, and I'm going to pull this down so you can see. Let's say that you had next post here. You created a URL like this, which you can. Well, it's going to say this is short / next post. It's going to keep that all the way through your breadcrumbs. That's the point. Okay, so whatever you change this to, know everything is going to load with this. And so I'm just going to take it out and put it back to what the title is. And now we have it back to the title. So we have a blog all set up. Next, in the next tutorial set of videos, we're going to set this up. We're going to switch this out to where it's a store, a little bit more complex for a store because there's shipping and payments and all kinds of other stuff, products. But this is where the power in the Ratals software is, this is where you can start if you want to, and you try to grow it to see if you can grow an audience of people liking your content, what you're doing, what your idea is, and then you can transition once you have a lot of traffic kind of coming to the site into a store if you want to start selling products in that transition. So go to the next videos to learn the transition into a store. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching.